we should be live by now.
Yay! We're back at it again with the bullshit.
Let's get moist.
Oh, God.
Look, I'm gonna use that word a lot today, so...
Like, I am fine with the word. It's just it popular being a cringe word. That's cringe enough. But anyway, yeah. We're back at it again with the bullshit.
Yeah.
So, heyo and welcome to Would You Waifu, talk show where we talk about monster girls of all shapes, sizes, and varieties, and discuss their biology and cultures of our weekly monsters or monster girls. I'm Blackout, and this is Scamper Blaze over here.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks.
And we're a couple of idiots with idiotic headcanons and even dumber ideas. Loss of brain cells cannot be prevented in any way, shape, or form. We cannot refund them if lost.
By clicking this video, you have signed your responsibility away of keeping your brain cells. So, last time we were here, we had a couple of people who joined us in as we talked about all the waifus and monster girls we talked about beforehand with our tier list. Today, we're doing something different.
Going back to our normal formula, honestly.
Yeah. As today's subject, we're kinda going away from our cut and dry content, and we will see what is below the surface of the waters. As we're
Under the sea.
under the sea. The urge to be singing a lot of those songs is gonna be strong this episode.
Might as well get out of our system while we can. Yeah. So yeah, this week is our underwater fish girls. Not mermaids. That is a totally different subject, as we will be getting into that later. But,
During the rework season.
Yep. Which is in the works. The rework is in the works. But no, just general fish girls. It's pretty much like, since there's such a wide variety, this is in a similar sense to our Beast Girl episodes, honestly.
Yeah, not as expensive though, because we might expand it. We'll see what we feel about. Shall we actually
We've
get...
done general groups before, so it's nothing new.
That is true. So, shall we start with the biology of what we consider a fish girl compared to a mermaid?
Oh, that's where we always start, but I think we really do need to start it because that's what's going to differentiate between our normal mermaid girls and our fish girls.
Yes. When we talk about mermaids, we are definitely talking about the type of creature that has a fish or seal, or at least the tail part is made to be aquatic. No kneecaps in that one.
Thank you.
On the contrary, our fish girls are pretty much the whole body is, in a sense, fish-like in some way, shape, or form.
Don't make me feel... Wait, do I have to whip out the furry skill again?
I mean, at this point, I don't know why you haven't just kept it as a permanent add-on onto the screen at this point.
I feel like I should make one of my own, just because we use it so much.
I'm not stopping you, man. I'm just feeling like that should just now be almost a permanent asset when it comes to our monster groups.
Yeah. So, what would you say differentiates a fish girl besides being more fish-like than a mermaid? Would fish girl be like how mammals are? Like rabbits and cows both are mammals. Oh yeah. And how far will we reach with fish girls? Like, because under the sea there's so much goddamn variety. It will go from squids to shrimp to crab to fish to manta to shark.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's such like there's still undiscovered stuff in the ocean itself is the thing. So it's such a wide variety. It's really hard to find a starting point, but just a normal. What's a common fish we could probably talk about in this? Give us a good example.
I'm gonna say a good one would be like sharks. They can be in a
Sure.
lot of varieties and also just have a lot different habitats.
Mhm. Mhm.
Plus, sharks are cool.
Yep. Yep. Sharks. Sharks are probably a great example. A sharkfish girl. So um, I think necessarily the a good differentiating between our monster girls and mermaids would be fish girls can have legs. Is the
Yes.
thing.
And I also think that the location of the gills would be a little bit different.
Oh, big time, big time.
Because a small refresher as to what our version of a mermaid is, instead of a
Along the
human
neck.
human top with a fish bottom, we kind of settled on it would make more sense if they had like a thin coat of fur, but since we did give them gills, to instead of putting them in the neck, putting them below the arms. That way, while swimming, there won't get anything in it. If you look at human shoulders, because
Yeah. Um. But yeah, no. Definitely, our fish girls can definitely have legs. They'll have the tail for sure, but um. Mm, trying to think. Because for a shark, they would definitely have the dorsal fin. I could definitely see them having legs and the tail itself.
yeah,
Classic shark tail. The dorsal fin. Um, hands are optional for fish girls, I would say.
if they have the chance of them being webbed would make the most sense, because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, a good
Like if
reference
they have hands, they're webbed. I'm being honest here.
that is very likely because that would both help underwater and also probably help with heat regulation while on the surface.
Yeah.
Honestly, a good culture reference to what would make sense is the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
bipedal.
think everyone can picture webbed hands, though. I think everyone can
Yes.
picture that. Just a thin membrane between the appendages. Let's see.
Also,
Anything special up top about the head? I would ask.
I'm gonna say that that vitally differs based on the fish, because a shark will have a way different dentures than, let's say, a salmon.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I do want to bring up ears, though.
I'll be honest,
Like, are you a fan of the classic fin ears, or do you want them?
I
'Cause I don't
like the
think there'd be a
aesthetic,
purpose
yes.
For ears. Yeah, I don't think there's a purpose for ears underwater. Is the thing.
Yeah, the fin ears would make sense since it would help with potential aqua hydro. Wait, which is the correct word for?
Hydrodynamic.
Thank you.
Hydrodynamics.
Hydrodynamics. It would also make sense that the fin would be in front of what would be the quote-unquote ear hole.
I don't think there's a need for ears underwater, my man.
There- A lot of fish
Well,
actually
like
do use sound because sound does travel faster underwater. So
Yeah, I'm just like, it travels, but it's like,
Oh,
how should I
okay,
say
so-
it? Like if you were to talk underwater, like you're not going to be able to understand what you're saying, though, from one person to another person.
I mean, if it's
But I don't know
human-
how that would affect our fish girls, though.
Yeah, because if you're not gonna give them ears, a counter thing that would work would potentially be like. Actually, wait. Underwater mammals do have ears, like dolphins, belugas.
I guess, but they're also mammals, so.
I'm actually gonna check something real quick if fish do have ears.
That's like, I'm pretty sure they don't.
You can't see
if
them,
that's
but they do have them. They are actually internal.
another internal ears.
Yeah.
You don't want deaf fish girls anymore?
I mean, I was okay with finally settling on Lamias being deaf,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I guess ear holes are fine if they're like right behind like the veneers. Veneers.
yeah. Plus, then the fins can also just be used to cover them. So
hmm Um, I guess they don't have the problem of water in their ears.
they wouldn't be bothered by it, I would say.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's hair like from Monster Girl, like point of what? What is the point of hair underwater? I would say.
Sneaking in the shadow. I can think of a couple, depending on how cultured we're gonna make them. There is the. It can be used to both trap potentially air or moisture for when they are up top, to basically keep hydrated.
Hmm.
It can be used to carry certain minerals in it.
Hmm.
If
Alright.
I'm gonna go for the first dungeon meshi description. They may also, sorry, their fishmen actually have hair to try and pretend to look more human, but they also carry their eggs in said fake hair.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll accept it, sure. Sure.
Because looking at it, it would kind of make sense for fish girls to kind of be a imitating type of race. Like, they
With no
see
hair.
stuff and they learn from it. They might not even just understand it, but I do think they would see others do it. Which actually brings to mind a funny story I heard about.
Mhm.
It was either whales or dolphins. They actually follow, well, specifically killer whales. They actually follow trends. Like, when uh, a group of whales see another member of their generation wear like a dead fish on their head, they also start doing it.
I don't know which one you're referring to, so I can't confirm or deny it.
Oh, by the way, have you heard that a lot of killer whales have been like knocking over boats lately?
Oh yeah, there's been a protest of killer whales.
Yeah, want to know what? Want to know why they actually do that?
There's plenty of reasons.
No, they actually
there.
have. They actually found out why this specific group has been doing it.
Why?
It's because of trends.
Ah,
Like, legit, it is just a group of younger orcas that are just fucking around. They see some do it, so they do it themselves. They are
Orcas
peer
are dicks.
pressuring, just tipping over boats.
orcas are dicks.
Yeah, but it's,
Orcas, the moose's natural predator.
I still love that fact that one of the natural predators of the Canadian moose is an orca.
Fuck, stupidity. Shit. Back to our fishies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Considering fish girls are going to be a
neck.
wide variety, the biggest differentiate, besides of course habitat, would actually be the depths.
Yep. Yeah.
Because the ones that live near shores are going to be a lot more, let's say, humanoids and would have stronger legs and bone structure compared to the ones that live in the
the
middle
abyss.
sea until even the abyss. Like,
Where the sun can't even reach.
yeah. the further away from shore you get, the less human they would appear. So things like
And those are going to be
Scylla's.
different from our
Correct.
mammalian
Yeah.
fish girls as well.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about like, I'm gonna use a couple of examples. So think like Miranda Vanderbilt from the Monster Prom series just pops up.
Okay, Pink Dolphin Girl, get it.
She would be a kind of in the shore region, pretty humanoids, culture. But if we're thinking about someone like Ursula from The Little Mermaid, she would be way deeper.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of a pop culture reference that would be a good in between. Like when you think, basically when you think of mermaid, that could be like the in between.
Pretty much, honestly. Like, the ocean is so vast as like, pick a fish. There it is.
Yeah. And I'm also gonna. One thing I do think would make sense if we have like 3 depth categories, like shore, abyss, and just open sea.
Yeah.
The shore ones would be like close to human size, maybe a little bit taller, maybe a little bit smaller.
Probably like our sea slugs, our like where else? Would starfish count as a fish?
Considering they are basically just their stomach inside out, I don't really want to consider them humanoids.
Starfish girl?
I'll take an abyssal shark girl. Fair enough, Sky.
There's plenty of them. Well, shark girl.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. And just because, like, probably with their biology, they can probably inhabit most, if not all, of the regions. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
In any circumstance, so it's like, probably if we talk about their habitat, it's probably where they're mainly found.
Where they.
I'm not saying they can't be. They can be found anywhere. Just this is where they're mainly.
Yeah.
Found
What is
at.
best? What they're best suited for.
Mhm.
Let's. Okay. Would you like to start splitting them up? Like, should we start talking about the shore culture? No, wait. Sorry. I realized actually something I wanted to say when I was talking about the shore ones. Shore ones around human shape. I'm gonna say that the abyssal ones, because of the high pressure, they probably would actually be on the shorter ends compared to your average human.
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
While the open sea category, since those have definitely the most room to grow, they would be like the big ones.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say that for sure.
Well, most likely to be the big ones.
Oh, I wouldn't say that's the reason why. I think there's more room under the water.
Yeah, under the water, but I'm talking about the open sea, which goes from like goes from surface to bottom. Like,
Yeah.
this would be where your, if we're talking about human culture, this is where your fishing boats would be, like your whale ships, your
Fishing.
cruise boats.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any other biological factors that would be, I guess, common amongst starfish girls? You could think of.
Let's see. If we're moving the gills higher up, I do think that it would make sense to, instead of having them like straight on the side, moving them a little bit more to the back of the neck.
I'm not going to say there's a certain spot for gills on our fish girls. They can just be almost anywhere, I'm being honest. But, like, but there are some cases where, like, well, like, an octopus compared to, like, shit, I can't think of another example. Why is it so hard to think of fish names right now? Like, are you having this problem too?
No, I can go. There's like manta ray. There's red snapper. There's cod.
Yeah.
Because
Like an octopus versus a manta ray. Like, would their gills be in the same place? On a one
no, because they breathe.
Exactly.
They breathe differently. Because a octopus would actually has those water vents that they would also use to propel themselves, while a manta ray's gills would be kind of where your jaw, where our jawbone would be.
Yeah, but you get what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
think there's going to be an exact location for our gills,
That is fair.
which would be another differentiating mark between mermaids and fish girls. If it's not underneath their arms, it's not a mermaid.
Exactly. Yeah. Stitch, we just said that. Like, that's at least my argument. I had. Oh, god damn it! I'm agreeing with Stitch.
Well, I have more to say about that, but that's more along the culture lines when we get to it, though.
Oh,
That's
fair.
why I'm kind of like saving my argument there. Like,
You know what?
I have
Fair
more to
enough.
say about that.
Okay, so
So we'll circle back to it like we usually do.
I will say that the shore category would definitely be able to stay on dry land the longest.
Oh yeah, I can say that.
So
Well,
let's
So-
say the abyss types would only be able to stay up like an hour at most, while the shore ones would be a couple of days.
like I say, the only exception to that rule would be our mammalian species, like our dolphin girls, whale girls, and such.
Yeah, fair.
Those are more out in the open water, so I'm just like, those are the only exceptions I'll make to that rule. But otherwise, I'm agree with that. Man.
You know, there's something I find fun that I think we both are agreeing upon, but we just haven't mentioned it.
Say it.
We are just assuming that all our fish girls are saltwater creatures, right? Like, we have not addressed river culture, lakes, like, at all.
You sure you don't want to make this a season, my man? Because there's been more arguments for it than where we talk about it.
We'll see how we feel at the end.
Yeah. This might be a two-part episode then.
Yeah. Oh, I might actually have to get thematic,
Freshwater next time.
yeah, thematic assets.
God. We'll see where this episode, because there is a lot to talk about, honestly. But there's also but I'm trying to think if there's really any more differentiation qualities we could have that would also
Bone structure.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Because honestly, a big differentiate between like both dolphin by aquatic mammals and fish is their entire bone structure. Like mammals just go up down with their tail, while fish go left right. So that is actually going to be kind of weird to think about. I could give more on that.
I'm trying to think about that too, because like even with we didn't even really talk about that with our mermaid episode, did we?
We kind of went with the up-down movement, since that was a lot easier to imagine with a kind of humanoid frame.
Okay, we're going for yeah. So they would have to do a kind of like the slithering snake motion underwater, than the bobbing up and down.
Oh, so that would actually give them a nice hip movement.
Those hips don't lie, my man. And they say you're gonna die.
Yeah. You know, I actually just realized I forgot to do something. Since Sky was in here, I'm gonna give him the guest speaker role real quick.
Sure.
Mostly because I can.
It doesn't really do much, but yeah.
Sorry, just a
Mm-hmm.
just a thing. Now let's see. I do think that if we're talking about bone structure, the shape of their spinal column would definitely be a little bit different than ours. Since ours is pretty round, I would say that a fish girl's spine would kind of be more flatter. Underwater snake girls. Eel girls, thank you very much. So, okay.
There are snakes that live underwater.
Yeah, there are. Oh wait,
Well,
do you
more
see that?
freshwater,
Do you see that emblem that's next to my head?
Yeah.
I think that would be, if you kind of rounded it down, that would be a good comparison to what a fish girl's vertebrae would look like. Fish. Wouldn't having side-to-side movement mean the fish girl would need to have longer tails? No, it would. It would just mean that. Well, it depends, of course, but it is. It would actually mean that they probably would kind of sail through the water because of the wider rib cage compared to fish.
So I am fine with that spinal arrangement so far. Like I can see it like down the back and up the tail, but the legs is where I have a problem.
Okay.
Well,
Realistic.
they probably don't need to use their legs much underwater, so maybe I can be fine with it.
Yeah, since we did already give them like webbed hands to kind of assist with it.
So fish girls walking on all fours underwater, doggy paddling around.
That is a fun mental image. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think so. Okay. But honestly, realistically speaking, I do think that if they would incorporate their legs, I think the knee joints that they would have would be a little bit more like a pivot instead of a hinge like our knees are.
I'm just trying to imagine it, and I'm having a hard time really thinking.
Okay.
Like why it would be like that, other than their side-to-side movement.
Mostly to kind of help with like the water resistance, because what I'm just I'm also just kind of trying to make like movements myself to kind of imagine what it would be like. Okay, so I do actually think that while the spine would kind of be left-right, I do think they could also just use their legs to basically what we do while scuba diving to propel themselves.
That too. It's like, is it like normal bone structure then for the legs? Like I don't see why not.
Yeah, like because of water resistance on curves, I do think that we could make it instead of just how our knees move, also being able to slightly bend to the left and right. Just so that they can make like more circular movements with their legs without for what we would have to do to make like a circular motion with our legs.
Well, I think regardless of what we decide on, they're gonna be big boned with legs. I mean,
I honestly think
I feel like
I do think that
Dense-
the
dense
legs
bones.
would be longer, in ratio wise, but I do think they would be a little bit thinner if we compare them to your average human.
I don't know about that.
Because it is fish mostly use their muscles to swim after all, so I do think they like bones. They would be kind of more thin and compact, but I do think they would have thicker muscles. You're trying to imagine
Not
it?
against it,
But
but I'm not sure if I'm sold on it though.
which is fair, but you can agree with me that longer legs would make sense.
Oh, I'm not arguing on that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But that also counteracts your theory of that they're shorter under
No,
Or is
I'm
it just a
talking
proportion
about
thing?
ratio.
Proportions. Okay.
So, talking about ratio, if what would you say a normal person's leg would be like 50-60%?
Yeah, around there I would say, if you count up to the waist.
Yeah. I do think that their torso would be a little bit shorter, so their hips would move up a little bit higher.
I would say their hips like would move up to, like the your belly button area in comparison.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm just mentally
I
just
mean,
pulling up
unless
my.
they're mammalian, they don't even need a belly button. So yeah, I think it'd be fine having moved up that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we just if we enlarge lengthen the legs, then a thinner bones wouldn't really be needed. But on the other
I think this is going to be another case by case scenario based on our species.
yeah, because
So
I was
I'll leave it at that if you want to.
yeah. Okay, so things we aren't agreeing upon is the density of their, the girth of their leg bones,
hmm
and also
Muscle mass index.
yeah. But being so, what I do know is that, or at least what I would think is that the shore ones would definitely be more like swimmer built, like lean muscles, kind of more skinny. While the open sea ones would definitely be a little bit on the girty side, a little bit thicker because they would need a little bit of that fat insulation to both stay balanced, kind of keep warm. And the abyss, I don't really think there's gonna be rules there.
Let's be honest, the abyss is just God's deviant art location.
It's their it's their sketch pad.
Yeah, there's no rules down there.
It's God's 4chan account. But want to start heading towards yeah, is there actually still something we need to do with biology for the?
I can double check if I have anything.
I don't think they really need legs.
I guess I can bring up something. With the difference between like our fish girls and our mammalian fish girls, I'm like water to air breathing time kind of thing.
Okay.
Like how long can they be out of water before asphyxiation?
Okay. For
or suffocation for those who don't know that word.
Okay. The
or
abyss
can't breathe for who don't know that word.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna say, like I said, from the deeper they tend to be, the less they can stay. Like, depending on the size of the individual, I'm gonna say the abyss kind would definitely be a maximum of like an hour or two.
Let's make this easy. Like, was it? It's like a dolphin needs to come up for air every 20 minutes? I think it was something like that.
I thought.
Or am I thinking of another species?
I'm gonna Google sense it. Can dolphins hold their breath? 8 to 10 minutes.
So yeah, like
that is a lot shorter than I thought.
I guess I was being lenient for like the 20 minutes. But you get what I mean, though. Like, so do we want to like extend that time, like give them like enhanced lungs capacity?
I'll be honest. If we're making them humanoid, I do think that just coming up to breathe is honestly pretty good for like 10 minutes.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't think we actually need to change that because they are.
That's normal dolphin biology, though.
Yes, but dolphins are made to be in the water.
Yeah, I guess. But like, how much can a whale hold their breath?
Google sensor. Oh, of course, it goes fancy like without it they can hold it for
Okay.
222 minutes.
That's the record, but they say it averages about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So an hour and a half underwater. I guess if you're a big girl like that,
You
I
do
guess
have
it
you
makes
do have big
sense.
lungs.
Yeah, but your body has to use all that oxygen.
Think
As
about
well,
if they had
so-
legs for open sea, they have a tail already. Will be wasting energy since the human-like build isn't suited for the water. Yesn't, because they do have like webbed feet and toes. I do think that their feet would be a whole lot more toe than it would be other parts. Sorry, I was just.
We're talking about monster girls, not fish, Stitch.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make this a slime episode again.
Yeah, like I do see where he's coming from, like, but then it would just turn more into the mermaids.
Yes,
Legs underwater, if we're gonna make them more civilized, actually would make sense because they could potentially use their feet to grab hold of the bottom.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about myself this time. I'm talking about the ocean floor.
And you said to me.
I know.
So I would have been fine with like extended lung capacity. It's just all I would think of.
Yeah,
But you want normal.
like if it wasn't compared to a human, yes, but I'm just thinking we're taking some of the evolution away from them. But I do think that wait, what's the human record for holding their breath? If it's longer than dolphins, I'm okay with extending it. 90 seconds. Oh wait, the
No.
record. The record of a human, the world record is 24 minutes.
24 minutes. Yeah, I think I read something like that. It's like they had like pure oxygen before they went underwater is the thing. Like they prepped for it.
That is fair. To be able to grip to the ground? Yes.
But the average human, 2 minutes. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so I'm okay with giving them the dolphin amount of that they would come over to up to breed.
I was thinking either extended lungs or
I'm okay with it.
a extra set of lungs. 'Cause why not? They
Like
have more space
like
in
an
their
air
body than a
bladder.
human, so yeah, sure.
Okay.
Air bladder, air sac, however you want to call it.
Yeah. Wait, are we now talking about fish girls in general or?
Well, this is just for our ones that need air.
Ah,
at
okay,
this
yeah, the
point,
mammalians. I'm okay with. I do think that with how humans are able to improve, like exponentially, like it is honestly impressive how much a person can change from the norm depending on their environment.
Yeah, like I've known a lot of people, like islanders and everything in my time. And it's like some of them can hold their breath for like 10 minutes. It's like shit.
Okay, yeah, with human adaptability. Oh, English is hard sometimes. Anyways,
Like
I'm-
pure fishermen who dive under the water. It's like shit, man.
yeah, goddamn. I'm okay with extending their lung capacity in that case. What do you think would be a realistic number?
I'm not going to say like 100%. Probably like an extra 25 to 50% larger increase to the lungs.
So, like 15, 20 minutes?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Would be cool.
Like as you said, they might be on the bigger side than humans, so they have a lot more room in their body to fit in this extra capacity.
That is fair.
Fuck the intestines. We don't need those shits.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of intestines, I'm gonna assume that that the open sea ones would mostly have like a fish, seaweed-based diet, and
Yeah.
while the shore ones would probably sometimes like come up on dry land to get vegetables, birds.
Harpies.
Wait, which versions of sirens are we actually going for? Aquatic or avian?
We did the avians.
Fair.
We did the avian sirens, but how much time could a fish girl spend out of water, though? That is the thing.
Okay, now we're talking
Normal,
about...
not our mammalian ones, our normal fish girls.
Okay, I mentioned this before, what I thought would make sense. Abyss 1 hour, 2 hour at most, because air bladder. Shore ones, couple days, because there are fish that are able to just go like 3 days on dry land, like the snakehead. I'm gonna say that the open sea ones definitely longer than the abyss ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2-day max, close to 24 hours at least.
Right. How fast do they dry out? Can you just like give them a glass of water and they'll be fine for a day, or do they actually need to go take a bath?
Okay.
Like, how much water do they need to hydrate if they're out of water?
Okay.
Is it like proportion to size, or is it like, yeah, like here's a glass of water, you're good?
Okay. Like I said, this could actually be a good function for why they would have hair. That just would hold water a lot, so... Okay, I'm actually gonna use a different mythological creature as a reference here.
Sure.
The kappa needs to keep the dome on top of their head at least hydrated to be healthy, so it could be a scenario that is similar to that. That's because there's a lot of veins in the skull. It would make sense that the hair also helps to keep it cold, keep it moisturized. So.
All right.
Oh, and to answer you, Stitch, the location of the air bladder, I would say it would be, if we're using human anatomy, I'm gonna say below the heart, closer to the spine. Also, hello Achilles.
I could say it's fuck. What's that? What is that? It's close to the heart as well, but it's kind of like in between, like not between the lungs. It's like down below the lungs.
Kind of where,
if you get what I mean.
Okay,
kind of
so
where your sternum.
Yeah, I was thinking close to that. But would you say it's closer to the stomach side, or sorry, the belly side or the back side?
I was saying belly side again.
Okay. I'm actually curious about your reasoning why it would be more on the front, because I think it would be in the back.
Well, I guess a few reasons. Keeping it near. Is it an essential organ? I'll ask. Would you say it's an essential organ for a fish girl?
It does help most fish with keeping balance in water, so it's definitely going to be essential for the open sea ones.
Okay, so I don't think having another essential organ so close to both your heart, spine, and lungs, so close. If you move it to the front, at least eliminates the spine element if you're being attacked as well. But there's probably more room in the front of your body than in the back.
Okay.
Do they need ribs cages?
I mean, if
fuck the bones.
I'm thinking about it, like if we're gonna make their skeletal structure more like fish, then they have something else than a rib cage.
Yeah.
But if we make them more like whales and dolphins, then they would have a rib cage. Because
I think that's also going to be a case-by-case thing,
the
honestly.
rib cage does help with keeping the like a humanoid structure. Hello, Mr. Horny.
Like,
Hello,
I'm
Kit Kat.
not-
But the reason why I think it should be in the back, because if the thing that helps you keep your balance is in the front, if you're swimming, then you would tend to spin so that your stomach would be facing upward. 2, a counter argument against the spine bit. The spine is actually also used to kind of protect your organs because it is a hard piece.
Essence?
Alright, Livy now getting bath dressed and ready to shops. Have fun, Kit Kat! Also, thank you for popping in. But
What if we put in a tail?
like closer to the hips?
Around, but just somewhere in the tail. I'm not having an exact location.
Okay, so I do think that if we put them at the hips, it should be kind of like tubular, like a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But I do think it would go like from upwards. So from your hips towards your rib cage if you're using the human anatomy to kind of think along. But I'm okay.
Well, I think long is fine because like if you think of how our fish girls will swim, they'll be more horizontal than vertical swimming. So having everything kind of elongated kind of would make more sense than just standard uprights. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm getting the point across.
Okay. The reason why I said it is mostly to keep our balance so that that the back would be kind of upwards. Like, let's say they would let their arms and legs just hang limp. If the air bladder is in the location from like hip to rib cage, the position would basically be like if you're trying to touch your toes while not really trying to bend forward. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Which is a lot more comfortable than if it was at the front, like belly up and your arms and legs just hanging downwards. Well,
I think I'm more in favor of the hip style now that we talk about it, is the thing.
Oh, Stitch is also suggesting multiple air sacs, which could make sense. With tubes.
Or not.
I mean, it doesn't. A air bladder doesn't really have to be filled with air. It can also be filled with like a fat-like substance.
Yeah, just the location for it. I think along the hips, just an elongated version of it along the hip line, or connected throughout up into the tail maybe. Because again, not using that much besides propulsion and other. What else would you use the tail for besides propulsion in this case?
I mean, that is. I mean, besides.
I'm trying to think. Like, besides the main reason you use the tail, here is like, is there any reason else to use the tail? If not, like, throw another organ in that bitch.
It's also there. It's also how they show off to look for potential mates. But to be fair, propulsion is why they have tails.
I mean, there can be like elongated and be it can definitely be along the tail in this case then. The thing.
So okay, so if we look at a human skeleton and human organ placement, would it be in the? Actually, now that I think about it, fish don't. Well, fish at least don't really urinate like we do.
Yeah.
So we kind of could put it where our urine bladder, kind of where our urine bladder is.
I'm not against it. No, I'm fine with that if you are.
Yeah, since we aren't, since certain organs will not be used as much, we could definitely put the air bladder around there. It is close to the hips. It is a decently sized if we compare to like a human. since we are moving the hips up anyway, they would have less intestine space anyways. Like in the case of the shark girls, they wouldn't have their float sac unless otherwise said.
So, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Do fish have a cloaca down there? Our fish goes up that down there. Do they have the V or do they have the C down there? Because they definitely have an A. But what about the V or C? Like, I'm fine with a C.
I am kinda too, but honestly, I kinda how we've been talking, I kinda can imagine that the shore ones would have a pseudo V.
Why?
Like I said, they're more of a mimicking thing. Like they see, so they kind of change towards it. There's a lot of species that actually do that.
This one's for fun and this one's for business.
Like it would still function like a cloaca, but I'm saying that visually it would be closer to a vagina.
I mean, aren't they visually almost like the same thing? Anyway,
No.
so are you Team V or Team C?
For
General purposes.
general, I'm gonna say Team C here,
Sure.
because I'm also just thinking about animals that have like pseudo-sexual organs without really need. I'm looking at you, hyenas and elephants. So
All right.
I'm gonna say that the shore type would have a pseudo V.
I guess. I'm not against it, but I'm also not for it, so I'll just leave it as a V.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna go an offshoot of that conversation and Team Live Birth or Team Egg?
Okay. Not talking about the mammalian ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say
Mammalians are gonna be live birth, let's be honest. So.
yeah. I'm
But
gonna
the regular fish girls.
Since we're talking about fish girls and not our mermaids, I'm gonna say Team Egg.
And if egg, normal caviar or large bird egg? what you thinking here?
Okay. Well, I do
What
think
kind of
that
style of egg are we doing here?
I do think that the size would be considerably larger than just normal caviar for fish.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I'm thinking like. Okay, grapefruit is a little too much. Tangerine sized. Because they would probably start off small. Should be, yeah, case by case, but I do think that's.
Yes, and
So, what I do think that, besides the size being larger, I do think that the shell would be thicker, not necessarily harder, but just more. Just
bigger membrane.
yeah.
Bigger membrane. I'm not against it. How many at a time though? That's the.
I don't think sharks lay that many eggs, and sharks are
Sharks
pretty.
don't lay eggs. They live birth, my man.
No, they have eggs.
The sharks fight in the mother's womb.
Do you not know what a shark egg looks like?
Sharks will fight in the mother's womb.
There's some sharks, but a lot of them actually do have. A lot of shark eggs are really weird shapes. Like, Google
You're
shark
talking about
eggs.
the weird sharks. You're thinking of the weird sharks. But all fish eggs are weird. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But what do you mean, the weird sharks?
Like a nurse shark or what's the other? Just like not the common ones like great white tiger, bull, whale. You get what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Not the common sharks people will talk about. They think if you say shark, people think great white most of the time.
Well, I'm more familiar with like tiger sharks.
But you get what I mean. You tell someone shark, they think the Jaws shark, which is a great
Yeah,
white.
that is fair, but 1 second. Ghost shark, horn shark, large forgotten cat shark, swell shark. Like a lot of sharks do lay eggs, and they do have weird shapes. I was not aware that some sharks give live birth.
Yeah. I think it is like the great white,
So it's different.
where like it'll have like multiple pups in its womb, and like the little pup will eat its siblings till there's only like one left.
1
it'll
second.
keep eating
Sky
siblings till
told
it's
Sky told me to look up something. Just making sure to actually write mermaid purse instead of something else. Yeah, a mermaid. Wait. Mermaid purse is a double-edged part to protect.
Baby cat shark.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm
Oh yeah.
what I was
those,
thinking
yeah.
about when I said sharks lay eggs.
Yes, not an egg.
It's definitely not live birth. But
I think we've been on this topic for too long. Let's continue though.
we spent longer
how
on the
many
air
at a time?
bladder.
Yeah, but we're running out of time on our biology section.
In
so
that
I'm
case,
trying to-
let's agree to disagree on this one.
sure, but like again, how many? No, it's like are we
I'm
talking
gonna
here?
say-
You know how some fish can lay like hundreds.
Okay, since we are making them more humanoid, I'm gonna say 5 at most.
At a time.
Yes.
Sure. How often? Are we going?
Let's see.
Once a year, multiple times a year, and how many times?
I'm gonna
multiple?
say. Okay, let's see. A human can basically reproduce again after a few weeks of recovery time, or a few months. I forgot which one it was.
Guess it.
A lot of animals are seasonal based, like they have a cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think
Yeah,
is
that
more?
makes sense.
What do you think is more taxing, live birth or laying eggs?
Live birth.
Okay, definitely fair. Definitely fair.
Because the gestation period is like pretty much within you yourself, and it's taking up your resources. Well, egg birth. Once you make the egg, you can lay the egg, and it'll grow on its own.
Okay.
That's how I'm seeing it if I break it down to the most basic concepts. Like
I
live
can
birth, you're helping it. Egg birth, it's doing its own shit.
I can definitely agree with that logic. So since I'm on Team Egg, I'm gonna say okay.
Oh, I'm team egg too. So, but like, I just had to get the question out there.
which is fair. Let's see. I'm gonna say like okay, 5 at a time, and since once again, humanoids would take up a little bit more resources than a fish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say after a good full-on batch, like full 5,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say like once every few years. If it's like a smaller batch, like 2 years recovery time. Like I'm talking a full 5 on batch. The smaller the batch, the shorter the recovery time.
I don't think it'd be years between it, my man. If we're doing eggs,
Okay.
I was thinking maybe like twice, maybe 3 times a year, or if they're feeling it. Because we
Twice.
gotta
Okay,
consider
you know what? I can settle for twice.
twice a year. Yeah, I'll settle for twice. Twice a year, they're within season and they're able to produce the eggs. Because the eggs probably don't need much to really get going. What do you think? They'll probably lay the eggs. They just need to be fertilized, I guess. That's also a process fish do. They'll lay the eggs and then the male comes and fertilizes them. It's not a within; they're fertilized.
And then there's the fucker seahorse.
You know what? I'm going to leave that to a case by case basis, so we can move on to our civilization, because I think that's where a lot of juicy shit's going to be coming up from now.
Alright.
The civilization of our fish girls.
Okay. So,
All right. So let's start. Probably our close to our shorelining sea girls here.
yeah, I'm gonna say that shore types would definitely be the most developed because their their floor is closer to,
Mm-hmm.
well, basically us.
Yeah.
So,
Probably have lasting structures. I would imagine, honestly.
yep,
I think they'd be probably the most social of any other fish girls as well.
I can definitely agree with that.
More symbiosis between the different fish girls, and all that such between each of them.
Okay,
Um.
I do think that shore types will have, even if they have similar structures than the other types, I do think that they will have one type of unique feature to their nesting place. High tide, low tide.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. I understand that there too. Yeah.
Which would definitely, they would have both low tide, uh, lo- sorry, they would have a bit catered to low tide and then different buildings for the high tide. Kind of strewn between, like, how farmers do crops between each other so that it's just not a monoculture.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. I can imagine their structural buildings be like, kind of like, I should say, it's like a flooded floor design. It's like most of the floor is like just a flooded with water kind of
Uh-huh.
thing. It's pretty open out, like normal structure, but it's just like flooded floor.
Okay.
Most single-story buildings, I would say.
Uh-huh. Those would be the low tide ones, right? Or
Yes, and I think most of them are. There are a few double-story buildings, but those are a little bit more deeper out in the water. But it's like most of the
Yeah.
buildings are like single-storied buildings. Is the thing.
yeah. What I can imagine is that the difference
They build
between-
out long instead of high, in this with their architecture.
Yeah. What I actually can imagine is that instead of having the like square walls like we have, I think their outside wouldn't really have like sharp corners.
Reason?
So when the water flows both because of waves, currents, if you use sharp corners, like do you have like a wall in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you move your hand along it. There will be a bit where, if you have a sharp corner, a little bit of a vacuum. Okay, vacuum is not the correct word, but it is the best way to describe it. Like, a little bit of a current vacuum exists, which can also start pulling on said corner, causing it to potentially break and wear down faster. Plus, if it's against the current, then you just have that pushing against you. If it's rounded, then it can flow around it easier, less drag, less resistance.
I'm fine with a curved structure. Curved. It's kind of like bubble buildings. You could
Yeah.
call them, honestly.
Yeah, like domes would be good.
Domes is fine. I can find with like a flat top if they're like, again, it's like if we're doing like flooded floor design where it's not always just covered in water.
Oh yeah, like the top would definitely be flat. I'm just talking about the walls.
Yeah, I'm fine with dome walls. Stitch, we made mermaids or nomads.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have reasons for that. When we do our reboot episode, but no. Yeah, again, let's see, bubbled out walls, build out long ways instead of high. Instead of high, they would go down, honestly.
Yeah, so they would. So you're saying they would be more like, okay, compared to like how beavers built dams potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of something like that, you could say.
Okay, so you know what actually kind of would make sense, just architecturally speaking, since I mentioned high and low tide buildings, that certain buildings would have like an additional floor that is just basically an air pocket on top to kind of help with pressure regulation inside.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
It would kind of be like their insulation for like a boiler. Like, it is pretty easy to. Okay, well, depending on how good they are at building, but physics. If we're looking at physics, it is pretty easy to do with low tech. Hi, Cortez. Oh no, Miranda, watch out! I'm here. The one Miranda has to look out for is Hero.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, never mind. Cortez actually killed Miranda during one of the runs. But do you think that they would mostly use stone and such for their buildings, right? Or like clay?
Maybe like limestone and clay. I'm not sure clay because you do have the process of drying it out. Like, I think just like limestone, naturally formed cave lines too would also work. Honestly,
they could also, if we're gonna give them a little bit of ingenuity, like just a bit creativity, it would possibly be possible for them to make like a good lime coating out of shells. Mermaids are something else, Cortez.
Yeah, we're doing fish girls.
Okay, so since we did say that the shore ones are going to be the most sociable, it would make sense for them to have
the ones who interact with like sailors and port towns and such.
Yeah. What do you think the average interaction would be like? From friendly to straight up on site, what do you think? How do you think they would interact?
Like between who? Who is like? It's like
just in general. Like, do you think they are? Because if we're gonna go with the kind of Mediterranean harpies, the ones that are more coastal based, I definitely think that these two would not really get along that well.
Wow, harpies just are hated by everyone.
Like, they're good with humans. They probably
That's
are.
the only ones they've been good with. What are you talking about?
I can see them working together with other animals and other.
No, but like, it's been like harpies every time.
Yeah.
They have beef with them. It's harpies.
I will say a lot of monsters would have beef with harpies because birds are assholes if you don't have a symbiotic relationship with them.
Yeah, but I guess that's. No, it wouldn't be species dependent. It would just be on site, honestly.
Yeah, like
between between fish girl to fish girl, they have ecosystems of fish out there, so it's fine. They all are friendly together. If they're on another species, like they might be wary at first. If they're harpies, no, that's just on site.
Yeah, that's fucking on site. Doesn't Miranda want to sky people dead? Yes. But like I do think that they would be the most influenced by other cultures, because once again, the shore would have the most interaction with the dry people.
Again, they're more popular within like port towns and fishing towns, where it's like trade is very often thing there.
Yeah.
Ships coming and going town.
I do think that realistically, if you look at any port town, they would be kind of just outside the harbor to not get like hit by boats, anchors.
Oh yeah, there'd be like you have like the bay where you have like the ports outwards where the ships can come in and dock, and then off to the side to the coastline there you would have like the settlements of the fish people.
Yeah. What is it there actually to? Okay, so what would actually be like noteworthy about the culture about the shore ones?
What's their culture? What they bring culture-wise?
Yeah. They would probably be seduce sailors for their merchandise. Yesn't?
Yesn't. I don't know about culture-wise. I know they, like, there's plenty of jobs they could do out there, but I don't know what they do culture-wise. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like help steering boats into port, helping fishermen just get fish and
they
such.
would they
Finding,
would
like, mhm,
a good interactive job between like
mhm,
humans or just the port people. Like they can be other
yeah,
uh, monster girls. They would make great scavengers, like in the shores. Like people get lost items, or people
mhm.
are looking for specific things. They would help. Definitely be good
Great
with like
lifeguards if you're chilling at the beach.
navigators, lifeguards, investigators.
Yeah, there's plenty of seafaring jobs they can definitely do and such.
It, they would. How would they actually procure their food? Because on land, I don't think.
Spears.
Not really what I was referring to. Because there's hunting, which yeah, spears. I can definitely see nets being used.
Mhm.
I do think they would go on land to scavenge for food, but I don't think they would develop agriculture to grow their own crops.
Rice.
Rice needs very
They flood the
specific.
fields.
Yes, but it is kind of inland, the rice. It isn't. Rice doesn't tend to be close to the ocean.
Fish farms.
Fair. But that is more livestock, not really. Okay, livestock is technically
Cowboy mermaid.
No. Is just seawater or river fish count? We haven't really addressed river fish yet. We've mostly been thinking about the sea,
Sea-based.
because
Yeah.
I do think that rivers, or at least the freshwater fish, would always be the shore type.
Like, we have normal fish in the world, so they can definitely be like fish hunting culture.
Yeah,
Like,
but
getting seafood,
we
all
basically have 3 categories: shore, open sea, and abyss. I think that freshwater fish would 100% always be the shore kind. Then herbal plant farming.
that. Oh, big time, big time.
Yeah. Unless we're talking about Loch Ness Monster.
It's like I'm trying to think. What's a good seafaring civilization we could base this off of? Is I
Japan.
think it's like,
The Netherlands.
eh.
Oh wait, Hawaii and such.
Samoan fish girls,
Yeah.
tribal tattoos and everything. Why not?
I mean, that is kind of a cool vibe. Like, plus it would
Yeah.
give us a reason to, instead of going Little Mermaid,
Samoan
go.
culture. Yeah.
What can I say except you're welcome?
No, shut up. We're trying not to get copyrighted here, my man.
Oh fuck yeah, right.
That's fucking Disney you're fucking with over there. I know Mickey Mouse just got released, but come on, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But
No, I am down with the Islander Samoan culture that they have. They would definitely be seafaring.
yeah, so okay, so what shells can definitely be also used as a way of as their commodity, since
Mhm.
they can find good shells, they could make good stuff out of them. So
My man, they have access to pearls and everything.
exactly. I mean, would they really care about pearls? I think they would care.
They don't care about it, but their human friends can care about it.
That is true, but I do think that culture-wise, that the shore ones would be pretty good crafters, considering if you think about shells. So fresh,
If you think about all the lost loot from ships and all that have sunken in the ocean and everything,
yeah, great
there is
scav.
so much treasure in the ocean.
Like I said, great scavengers, investigators.
And I can already see some kind of like symbiosis. Like the shore girls would go out to like the open sea girls, and the open sea girls can go to the abyss girls. Like help us find this treasure. We'll trade this for that, this for that. You bring the gold here. We'll give you all this stuff you can't normally get down there,
Ooh.
and so on and so on. And we'll trade the shiny stuff from landers, and they get us more stuff, and then so on and so on. It's kind of like a cycle.
Wait. I just thought of a surprising way to connect a specific land monster girl with the short type of mermaids.
Uh-huh.
Centaurs. Remember how we made?
I'll let you cook.
Okay, remember how we decided that our centaurs would be mostly the woman would be crafting trinkets for the men.
Yeah.
A great material for that, both because of structure, color, and just for them rarity would be shells, so that would offer up a great opportunity for trade between those two races. Two, the shore types could go upriver to where the plains are, where the centaurs are, but centaurs, being fucking horses, would also be able to easily travel to the sea. They are great for walking on beaches, so honestly, they are very well suited to do just trade with the shore fish folk.
Sure.
I'm just trying to think if I can cook more with this. Give me a sec.
Like, there's a whole economic cycle we could do. Is like between like all their fish girls and people on land. People on land can get them like vegetables and other like foods they're not available that they can get down there.
Yeah.
Like one of the commodities, other trinkets, shiny shit that they might not need. Yeah, here's some stuff we made. Would you trade it for that gold you found from that treasure chest you got down there?
Yeah, it is
Oh,
a
yeah,
good.
Sure.
Yeah. So the shore ones would definitely have a good supply and demand type of culture, like how, for example, different tribal villages in the olden days, like the mountain would trade ore for their vegetables. So, yeah. But considering what we decided with centaurs, they would work especially well with the shore fish folk, is what I'm saying.
I feel like your Waifu Wars would actually be Civilization style RTS. I mean, you're not wrong.
I would play it.
I would pre-order that bitch. Sid Meier's Must Girl Civilization. Let's go.
Sid Meier's Weep Edition. Okay, Cortez also agrees, but okay, so just because of this little tangent, what? Or would this be more of a question for the world map episode? But what culture of monster girls would you quote unquote main in Sid Meier's Weep Edition?
I don't fucking know. It would really depend on what each of them are good at. As like the centaurs would be good at like the engineering style.
Well,
we would have like.
Well, they would be more suited for cavalry and.
They would definitely have a special cavalry unit, but like. It's just
and the
their
luxury.
main function of society would be like engineering and construction.
I wouldn't say engineering. I would say they would suit it at.
I'm not saying that's what they are good at. I'm saying that's what the Sid Meier equivalent would be.
I was gonna say they would mostly utilize the luxury commodities and scouting.
I think the Harpies would be the more better scouts there. But
I'm not saying that's that's inaccurate. I'm just saying that centaurs would be good at being land scouts, like at least early game.
The fox girls are the barbarians that interrupt you at the beginning. Like they each would be good at their own stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I probably would go with the fish girls because I always tend to go for the.
Fish girls would be a little bit overpowered if you were on a like archipelago style map.
Yeah, but I always enjoy that type of gameplay in Civilization. Pick the seafaring one just for early exploration. I suck at Civilization, so that bonus wouldn't really matter, but still. Anyways, I think it's time we go a little bit deeper, and we can always come back to it.
Our open waters would be next.
Indeed.
All right. These ones can be a little bit social with the land lubbers if they come in close enough, but it's very rare. You really only see them when you're out on the boats and such.
Yeah.
In this case, but they would definitely could help sailors and those that's like, hey, we're lost. Go that way.
Yeah. Uh, so if they have a structure, I do think they potentially would. But
Mhm.
while I think shores would be more like individual residences, like
Mhm.
basically like family to family, yada yada yada. I do think
Yeah.
that the deep sea ones would have like bigger communal buildings. Like if shores, if the shore types would have houses, I think the open sea would have
Apartments,
like yeah, like apartment complexes, hotels.
dormitories, such and such. Yeah. That's now I can see that.
Okay, so while I do think that they would definitely be more of a dome structure, not a flat top,
Mhm.
I do also think they would make it a lot wider so that
If they're not going to, dude, they can definitely build like cities underwater. They definitely would have the cities underwater.
yes,
Well, our like shore base or like more like attachments to an already existing town. These ones would have like their own like settlements underwater.
yeah, they would have their own borders.
Yeah.
But I do think that a open sea community would basically be just not that many buildings, but a couple of big ones.
And that really will take up space though, so it's practically almost city sized. Is the thing.
Yes. Like I said, suburban. I'll grab the snorkels.
Like if you think of like most like fantasy like underwater cities, that's what I'm thinking. In my opinion.
Like big as singular castle,
Yes, and kind of.
which is fair. So Abyss will be open. We'll get to the Abyss later on, Cortez. Uh, what what do you think? Well, I do think that the main thing for the shore would definitely be trade and economics to prosper. The
Uh-huh.
open sea is definitely a lot more self-sufficient.
Yeah, they do some trading between like the shore and the abysses, but like they have to be more self-sufficient, being out in the more open waters.
Yeah, so I do think that, uh, like, in a single community, like their quote unquote towns, they would be
Mm-hmm.
good, but I don't think they would be like full friendly between two different towns. I do think there would be like little rivalry there.
There's a trade route, and that's probably about it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so like if they discover like a new group, it would take a little bit to build up trust before a trade route
Mhm.
would be set
Yeah,
there.
like normal. It's
Yeah, like I do. I think they would definitely be skeptical because the open sea can be dangerous with rapid currents, predators.
yeah, these will probably be our probably most active like hunting units. Elite warriors of the sea would be in these groups.
Ye
I would think so. Like trained for combat.
potentially. I do think that they would kind of try and develop in a completely different way than the shore ones would be,
Oh, big time.
since they wouldn't really
I'm
focus
trying
on.
to think of like underwater like besides like hunting or spearfishing, you could say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the open sea ones are more practical compared to the comfort of the shore.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
really able to trade as much with
yeah.
like people. It's like there's like a passing ship every time, like, hey, got some good shit.
And potentially they would also, quote unquote, get salvage. It doesn't matter if the
Mhm.
salvage was gonna sink anyways, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. If you're out in the open seas on a ship and you piss off like a city of fish girls, oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. There ain't no helping you out there.
Wait, are we gonna make the open sea just the oceanic ghetto at this point?
I wasn't gonna go that far.
But are you opposed to it?
I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes.
Fair enough.
Because that's just living conditions in certain areas.
Huh. Okay, so how do you think that the open sea would actually just, on a realistic way, would be faring on a technological tree? Since normally we can make the argument uh, of if they interact with other races or not. It's gonna be a lot more difficult for these ones, considering under the sea, only now are we able to make like sustainable bases there, and that is a lot of times in science fiction.
I need to look up one thing. So, I think they could do a form of blacksmithing using thermal vents.
That is not really the open sea, right? That's more like the abyss.
No, it's out. Like, there's still like the abyss is way farther down. Like,
Yeah,
there's
because
still like the sea floor and all that though.
when I think of thermal vents, I just think of those specific areas in the
Thermal vents are just from underwater volcanoes, my man.
That is
There's
fair.
plenty of those bitches.
You're not fair.
So-
And there's also like warm currents, cold currents. I mean,
I'm saying
that's-
there's like, it's not direct blacksmithing where you throw it in a fire. It's like thermal vent, using the heat from the thermal vents to melt like the metals and such that are found underwater.
Okay, so Cortez wants to actually open up the option of Atlantis for the open sea or for later on, because no one there to bother them. But then there's the counter argument, like, why would they need to progress that far?
They were making Atlantis. That'd be like a collaboration between like the open sea and the shoreliners. That's a lot of material and such to work on. Is the thing. It'd be some kind of collaboration, just this underwater city.
Yeah, like, I understand the underwater city, but I don't think,
Yeah.
realistically
I don't think it's really plausible
yeah,
though.
left on
Or-
their own, I don't think they would make an advanced civilization.
Like my man, I think we just need to keep it the kings and queens era over there.
Yeah, okay,
And
so
that's
so
stretching it, in my opinion.
so medieval.
Kings, queens, like minor blacksmithing, like Bronze Age, maybe. Not even iron, bronze.
I normally I try to counter that, but I'm
Mhm.
kind of agreeing with you in this scenario. Like, based on the resources they have, based on the necessity, they don't really need to evolve that much. Like, they can see the shore and be like, oh, they have cool shit, but not really do a lot with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ever you
Like, and they probably have like a basic form of blacksmithing. So I'm like, yeah.
yeah, like, so what I'm thinking
Bronze
is
Age
like,
at best.
if the shore was, and I'm just kind of upscaling it a little bit, if the shore people were like modern day, then they would be a big Amish community.
Not by choice.
Yeah. I say medieval, but they don't feel like advancing because they're comfort, but I still think spies will see. Oh shit, submarines. Like, they would, if we are completely modernizing them, they would be the rednecks.
So you go down that way till you fuck all the way off.
Yeah. If you see the Kraken, you've gone too far.
Nope, you didn't fuck off all the way enough. Keep fucking off, buddy.
Yeah. Just keep.
They're probably very territorial. So yeah, if you enter the wrong neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, like, I can see them being neighborly to their own community. To others, steer away, and we'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, while if the shores are kind of like islander culture,
Yeah.
how do you think that's just aesthetic-wise?
Mm-hmm.
They could be compared to like a underwater version of like Celtics. Because I'm just trying to have like a visual image of these.
Well, the thing is, you said redneck, and now I'm thinking like there's a sunken ship down there, and one of the mermaids made them their home, and then they built around that shit with other scrap
Ooh.
salvage and shit.
I
And
mean,
that's where I'm at right now.
I'm actually kind of on board with that.
They keep sinking ships so they can build on more. It's like, we need a new home for Jimothy. Sink it.
Yeah, we need to do we need a new downtown.
Oh look, look the Titanic. Oh, so that's what.
Oh yeah,
happened.
prime real estate.
It's free real estate.
I'm kind of feeling. Wait, I'm not sure if I should make the joke I was about to make.
No one will notice if there's no one to notice.
Ah, yes, heavy stealth. We have.
They're very opinion of heavy stealth since they're out in the middle of nowhere.
I never heard a single complaint in my life about this. See, he's
Mermaids are
not.
friendly creatures. Have you seen a fish girl before?
Now I'm just imagining them just developing missiles just in case they want to have like a downtown or a gentrified area.
Okay. Shall we sink more down to the bottom than we already are?
Okay, so since we now kind
Get
of
out
have
your flashlights.
scavenged rednecks in the open sea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question.
Probably a lot of interbreeding too, if you really think about it.
I mean, okay, so you definitely know the movie Finding Nemo, right?
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah, clownfishes do that.
Like, if Finding Nemo was accurate, Marvin would change into a female and mate with his son.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving it at that. But
And it's also not the barracuda who would have eaten the children. It would have been the mother.
yeah. So yeah, there'd be a lot of interbreeding. That's my Uncle Ant over there.
Sweet home Atlantic. Okay, but
Pretty much. All right.
so I actually have two potential theories about the abyss.
All right. What you got?
I either can see them being lawless area, aka Borderlands series, or that is kind of where Atlantis is, and they are just high society, but people don't come there, so they're like, oh, like they're just an enclosed community.
Well, I think I'm with you on the Borderlands theory here, but it's more like you're on your own kind of shit.
Yeah, like
The wild wasteland out there, honestly. Borderlands, Fallout. You're by yourself down there, and everything will try to kill you if you're given the chance.
yeah. So, like I said, I can see the two extremes: Mad Max.
Like, it's nothing personal. It's just I need to eat.
Yeah. But I do think that while they would be kind of Mad Max dystopian future-like, I
Mm-hmm.
do think they would develop faster than the open sea ones. Because,
Reason.
okay, a couple of reasons. One,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of resources down there, so abundancy to experiment. Two, if you have to survive, you sometimes will have to get in ingenious. No, that's not the correct word.
Intuitive?
You have to be able to adapt, and if you're able to create stuff to help you adapt, that would help you survive, and that's so basically the need to actually
Mm-hmm.
the need is there to actually improve, I would say. Uh, two, we don't know what the fuck is down there, so there's also just the mystery aspect that would make for honestly good story.
Mm-hmm.
Three, if we ever even indulge into the ancient civilization that is somehow more advanced than what we are,
Precursor, yeah.
yeah, you need a very good place to hide that shit.
And what's better than a place we haven't even fully discovered yet today?
Exactly. When we were starting this episode, we referred to it as God's sketchpad.
Pretty much. But it's a pretty lawless land down there, though, in general.
Yeah, it would basically be either, like I said, either Mad Max levels of
Survival of the
fu-
hungriest.
Mad Max levels of fucked, or it would be like aperture science, like just experiments upon experiments upon. Because
There's only two moods down there, hungry and horny. God forbid which one you get picked with.
and sometimes those are not even exclusive.
Yeah. Hungry. Oh god. Oh god. I don't think there's really much lasting structures on there because kind of like when I brought up in the mermaid episode before, that's probably lost.
Yeah.
The pressurization would just make a lot of shit crumble.
Exactly.
All the shifting too of the plates down there.
Yeah, I can agree with their instructions being like
It's probably more like carved out caves, if anything. If you need a structure.
Yeah.
In a sense. See what else to bring up, shit. You have anything else to bring up? Because I might have.
Okay, so Abyss-wise, I definitely think that their main commodity would be light sources. Like, there's of course the bioluminescent ones, but I think those would be like sought after by the others. Because they can utilize light to.
I think they would have like some kind of adaptive thermal vision or a can't even say night vision. There ain't nothing base off the vision of down there.
They probably have echo.
It'd
They
be
have
some
pheromones. They have
naturalized thermal vision.
They have tremor sense.
Yeah. Probably the weirdest looking eyes, if not multiple eyes.
Yeah, you know what? Instead of Mad Max, I'm definitely gonna say it would be more like Fallout, but
Yeah.
all the factions would be down there. The Brotherhood of Steel, the Conclave,
Mm-hmm. Super mutants.
Death Claws.
Yeah, who knows what the fuck's down there? We don't.
Exactly. So
We just get the stories from the fucking seats, and those have been filtered out through the fucking shoreline ones.
Yeah. like, because I can definitely imagine us also just thinking they're lawless savages, but they're being the most advanced out of all of them. So I don't see a middle road. It's either the most advanced or the most savage.
Been most adapted, if anything.
Yeah, they would definitely not be well suited to go up because of health reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where you'd find like the anglerfish, the giant squids, probably a whale graveyard here or there.
Ah, those those enormous fish that are basically just millions of organisms in a row doing a conga line.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like weird shit happens out there. But do you have anything else to throw in? No, I do.
Let's. Uh, I'm trying to think of something like. I have something in my mind, but I'm trying to let that idea grow a little bit before I present it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to shift it a little bit to kind of like interactive culture between all of them.
Okay.
Pretty much mythologies of mythological creatures like Loch Ness, the Kraken,
Uh-huh.
big motherfucking monsters.
Okay.
Do they exist? And if so, no, not if so. They do now, because I want them to.
Okay. I will. Before we go into Loch Ness, I'm gonna say Kraken. Yeah, sure, easy.
Abyss Girl, Open Sea. How we feeling?
I'm gonna say Abyss adjacent. Like they would border the open sea and the abyss. So
Sure. It's not mutually exclusive.
uh oh
Sea creatures. Then the giant like sea serpent. The giant squid and like. Is the Kraken just a giant squid?
most of the time
So,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say yes. Oh, what?
Who goes and say famous sea monsters, please?
There's the Leviathan. There's
That's
there's Charybdis near the
Cryptus, yeah.
Charybdis. Yeah.
Um,
There's Scylla. It depends what culture you're looking at, because there's the one.
Megalodons. How we feeling about Megalodon?
I
Or we
think
gonna
we
save
should.
that for dinosaur episode?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that should be in our Dino episode.
Sure.
Ooh,
Uh,
I actually the idea I had. So
Yeah.
we've been talking about a lot of mythical creatures that, in our world, wouldn't exist, but if they did, they would be considered cryptids, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that even in this world, the abyss fish would be considered cryptids of the world. Like, do they exist? We don't fucking know. Like, conspiracy theory fodder is what they are.
Like we're hearing stories of other stories that they exist. It's like again, like from the shore dwellers to the open ocean. It's like to the abyss. And like yeah. Let's see. Any other? A kelpie, the seahorse.
Okay, Kelpie would definitely be more of an Irish one, but Kelpies are
You
also
get what I mean, though.
fresh. Are the shores would be a shore one,
All right.
because they tend to lure their targets in and then just. But if we're gonna make them a monster girl, they would probably be a aquatic centaur.
I'm trying to. It's like a centaur, but the back half is like just the seaweed.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, sure. I was just like thinking like the big mytho creatures of unknown shapes.
Oh wait,
But-
I just thought of another undersea thing that we might have to address in this
Uh-huh.
episode.
Mhm.
Eldritch
say, or
horror.
you want me?
Eldritch horrors like the Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what about those? Because
Cthulhu's a kraken, honestly, if you think about it.
yeah, and then there's Father Dagon and all his children,
Uh-huh.
which start to look human but become more fish-like as they age.
Yeah, who knows what's on there? Not us. Not us.
And it is.
But I do have something kind of stupid to bring up.
Oh, go ahead.
Sharknado.
Which of the ones?
Yes.
We haven't talked about the fancy aspect yet, so...
Air defense, Sharknado, go! Take this, harpies! Didn't think we could use your own wind against you.
That's what happened when the shore fish start watching wrestling. They then go to the open sea and explain the concept of from the top rope.
One of the natural predators of the harpy was a shark girl. The what? Oh, because they dive in? No.
Meanwhile, the harpy girls, Sharknado is a myth. Sharknado is a myth. It's not real. Oh god, this is just the bear girls and the bunny girls all over again. But instead of bear girls just clotheslining rabbits, we have sharks elbow dropping harpies.
Oh, there's the stupidity.
Oh wait, okay. So, who do you think would give the more deranged stories? The shorefish that would try to embezzle and make things look like better than they are, or the harpies?
I don't even know.
Like, realistically speaking, do you think positivity or negativity would cause more confusion?
Probably negativity. I saw this. I was flying over the sea and I saw this 100-foot long shadow looming across underneath the water surface. Yeah. Well, the shore folk are just telling a story of a story they heard from the open water ones.
Yeah, because I honestly think that the shore ones would actually be more confusing, because they basically have like translated from this language to this language back to English, while harpies
While
are
missing
like
some details and everything.
while harpies probably tell from their own point of view.
Yeah.
So I think negativity would actually paint a more accurate story.
I guess. Oh god.
Huh.
We had to have our stupid moment.
Yeah. I do think that if humanity would be, or at least a little bit further, where we are able to make like proper oceanic bases a la Subnautica, I do think that we would get along with the ocean, with the open sea ones at least.
Huh, I can't eat you. You made of hard shell.
Yeah. You bring me the green stuff.
Can you stop humping my submarine, please?
Everything is oh, I was just thinking like it either goes in a big one or a big one goes in you when you're in a submarine.
Who knows anymore?
Well, leaving that thought aside.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go down the list from bottom to shallow. The Abyss.
Okay.
General interest and waifu interest. What would you say?
General interest at solid 6. Maybe 6.5 due to our new anglerfish discovery earlier.
I'm still annoyed how much I like that picture, just the concept of it. Like, I don't want to like that picture, but it makes sense.
6.5 here for general. Waifu 3. I don't know what's down there. And it's either eats or be eaten. And take that however you want because they can as well.
Yeah, I also do think that the Abyss would be very prone to cannibalism.
Well, you're either going to be eaten or you're going to be eaten. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
How you feeling on that scale?
Okay, so general, I'm actually gonna give them a good 8 because they have great potential, both if they just turn out to be the savages, but on the chance they are the most advanced one because of precursor stuff, because all life came from the ocean.
And does that anglerfish do anything to increase that score?
I hate that it does. Like, I I hate that I don't hate it. Like, legit. But yeah, mostly because I love the potential of both extremes. Like, I do not see a middle road here. It's kind of intriguing to me. So, general interest, solid 8. Potentially staring into a 9 because aesthetically it's cool.
Right.
Waifu?
And the waifu rating?
2.
Eat or be eaten.
I am not interested in something whose head is about 80% teeth.
All right. You can lead off the deep water ones then.
Okay.
Since you just went.
Open sea. Well, these shapes can definitely be. Wait, where? Okay. Before I say my answer, would the coral reefs be more the shore, or would that be more of the open sea?
It's kind of a mix, isn't it? Honestly.
Yeah, because there's like coral.
You have both. You have both corals everywhere.
Yeah, but okay. So since
Yeah, we'll call it open water.
yeah,
Fuck it.
okay. Since in that case, there's gonna be a wider variety of pleasant shapes and sizes.
Uh-huh.
So, but general interest with how we've discussed them culturally. Hi, Roger. I'm gonna lower that to a 6 or 7 because
Sure.
I'm still biased towards the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Waifu compared to the abyss ones, solid 8.
Fair.
Okay, a low 8. I'm gonna say like
An 8 minus.
yeah, like almost a 7, but just an 8.
Pretty fair. Yeah. I would say for general interest, I'll give them a solid 7, a little up on the scale.
Okay.
But for my waifu rating, it's low, but it's still a 5, kind of middle of the road. Mainly being is, how the fuck would I live with them? As I brought up.
Yeah, if we're talking about practicality, then I do agree with you.
That's like my biggest downside. If there's like a way around it ever invented, I could probably up it, but I can't really think of a way.
Yeah, okay.
Sandy cheeksing it up there.
Okay, yeah, or Subnautica-ing it. Okay,
Yeah.
so practicality in mind, I'm gonna lower it to a 7 in that case. I would be harsh with a 4. On general interest or the waifu rating? Also, what is your opinion on the ones that would be like in the abyss, like anglerfish, bluff, both? Okay, so you're not a big fan of fish. Which is understandable. Because I do think that structure-wise, there are some downsides to fish.
Yes, and
I'm just talking about like general fish, like not like mollusks.
yeah, alright. I guess I'll start off on our shoreliners over here.
Yeah.
Let's see, general interest, 8, I'll say.
Okay.
And for a waifu rating, I'm jumping up to a 7.
Okay, would you like to elaborate on that?
On which one?
Yes.
Alright, general interest wise, they're definitely, there's a lot to work with still there, along with the increasing social aspect being the one we'll probably most encounter along the way and such. So it's just be a lot you can do with them that we probably haven't really had time to really get into. We could probably made a whole episode about them, let's be honest. But this is for the waifu rating. Again, same problems a little bit, but it's less harping because like you would have to live by the sea in that case. Is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can also live inland near like a river, a lake.
Yeah, but again, you're still kind of limited to where you can be at with them and such. But you still can have your own life and such and be with them.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Once you get past the fish smell, it's probably not that bad, honestly.
I mean, fish doesn't only starts to smell when it kind of starts to decay. In the water, they're just fine.
Not when they're on land, though. Would it be drying up and such?
Yeah.
You're going to get that constant fish smell, though.
That's actually coming from like the innards of a fish, like not the outside.
Have you seen our fish girls?
Fair.
Starfish girl.
We're not gonna talk about gender bent Patrick here.
But anyway, what's your ratings on that side?
Okay. General rating, well, these would probably, if we're talking about aesthetically, they would be the more either the dulled one or more like the fish you would see in like a tropical aquarium. General, I'm actually gonna say personal bias because once again, I do love fish. I love the water. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Like,
And a waifu.
actually, wait. What did I say for the abyss fish for general?
8.
Yeah. Okay. And open water, I kind of lowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say between.
The score's kind of reversed the more we go up into water, is the thing.
Yeah, I'm actually general interest in these. I'm actually gonna put them between the abyss and the open sea.
Okay. Reason.
1, it would be easier to interact with them. 2,
Sure.
the fact that they can come on land, so we can also see kind of how they respond to that stimulus. The varieties that you can encounter is gonna be honestly pretty baffling. Like, it's gonna be like dealing with like salmon. I'm using salmon a lot as a reference here. Like, okay, now I'm having trouble thinking of freshwater fish.
Okay, so, well, let's continue. I also need to get over the stigma that fish are the worst pets. Because they're not pets, they're furniture.
Agreed. And waifu rating, I'm gonna stick to a 7 because, yeah, I may be biased because of Monster Prom. Okay, if it's a jellyfish waifu, I'm putting it in 1 out of 10. I don't fear much with jellyfish. It scares me. Ooh, Roger, in that case, there's a webcomic called On We Go. Book 4 is basically about a man of war fish girl as the main antagonist.
I know it's a mythos, but I gotta bring up the water sports. If you're like jellyfish girls. I know it's a myth. Though that's actually true. But you said jellyfish, and you know what happens with stings.
Yeah, I'm just letting that one sinking like, ah.
Alright, I'm gonna move on from that. But, yeah. So, I believe that's all for today's session. Are we gonna bring up freshwater next time?
I am...
Or do you want to do something different?
Oh, that is a good question.
I'm fine either way. Sure, show.
We could... Well, in 2
Okay.
weeks I'm actually not going to be here because then I will be in England for SunnyCon.
Oh, yeah, next time we do this, though.
Yeah. Okay,
When I say next time, I mean next time we do this, not in 2 weeks.
good point.
Because you know with our schedule's always conflicting.
Yeah, good point. Let's see. I mean, if we feel like expanding upon the freshwater, I'm okay with it. We'll see what we feel like later.
You know what? This episode came out about... We did this episode, like, spur of the moment, so we'll see what if we feel like next time. So, mystery episode next time.
Da 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 da. Oh, wait. Chet, would you waifu a fish?
Girl.
Hey, some people
Right.
swing the other way. But
Yeah, we didn't even get into the gender aspect, but who knows anymore? With our wish, we changed so much shit.
yeah.
But yeah, no, sign us out.
All right. Well, I'm Scamper. I'm Scamper Blaze. The guy to the left of me is Blackout.
Hey, you got it right this time.
First of all, hush. Second of all, I'm
It
slow.
happened twice, okay? I can roast you for it.
Fair. Fair.
First time I let it slide. Second time, roast material.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. We're gonna be raiding into the Digital Hazard, who's currently playing Additional Masters. So to everyone who's still in chat, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for popping by. It has been fun and stupid. Bye bye.
Bye.
Huh.
From the top cloud.
Ah, crap! I just realized one specific meme we should have used for this episode.
Go with a steel chair from out of nowhere.
Hey, Blackout.
Yeah.
Do you know that one image? I will now proceed to pleasure myself with this fish.
Yeah.
I should have grabbed that image.
It's definitely been redrawn with mermaids, so.
Yep. Anyways, clicking the raid button now.